Welcome to the 11th episode of Phenomenal Woman Wednesday.
I am your host, Dr. Saran Nataki. Thank you for joining.
Welcome to Power 365 Phenomenal Woman Wednesdays. This podcast will address issues ranging from what is a phenomenal woman? Are you enough? Community service, paying it forward, the manifestation of dreams with words and action, the power in being a woman, the men who support phenomenal women, fashion, and much more. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. It is Phenomenal Woman Wednesday. So I am so excited to be here with you this Wednesday. And this week I wanted to share with you an experience that I had over the weekend with a dear friend who was so gracious to invite me to attend a special event along with her and another one of our dear friends, sisters and sorors. And it was a yoga session that was put on by the 333, and the founder of the 333 is Kari Walker, and their mission is to provide enlightenment. So I'll just read to you what their mission is. It says, "We create tools and experiences that unite mind, body, and soul. Our experiences are never the same, but always authentically represent who we are. We are an urban oasis, a community where you can be exactly who you are in any given moment. We inspire one another to become the most evolved version of ourselves every day. Our mission is simple: cultivate space, tools, and experiences for a more conscious existence, always give more than we take, and improve upon the potential of tomorrow." How awesome is that? I mean, it is right along in alignment with what everything that Power 365 is about. And so anyway, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what my experience was there. But the event was hosted graciously by Usher Raymond himself, and it was just really an amazing experience. And so one of the things that we did was we had an actual a yoga session that was done very well, and it was also it had musical accompaniment as well. It was followed by a guided meditation from the Institute Field of Abundance, and that person, the founder of the I want to make sure I get it right. O&O Academy, Field of Abundance, Pritaji. I think that's how you say it. But I'll provide a link to all of these, the website for the 333, as well as the phenomenal woman who provided the guided meditation in the show notes. But anyhow, I want to talk to you about what came out of this experience for me and what really inspired the topic today for the podcast. And so what we did in the guided meditation was something called soul syncing. And what it involved was looking into the eyes of the person next to you. And we did it for an extended period of time. And while we were doing it, there was, we were guided through this process. And it was the most amazing experience because it was so intimate. It was an intimacy that is, quite honestly, usually only shared in very, very intimate moments between two people. But it was like, it was the ability to really connect with another person next to you that, in some instances, people didn't even know one another and were emotionally moved. And I know I was emotionally moved in that experience. And so what it led me to think, this sparked a lot of conversation between myself and my sisters, and we were talking about how powerful that experience was and what it really did for us. But when I got home, I thought about it a bit more and about, our current state of affairs with respect to humanity. And, we have a lot going on politically right now, and all of the changes that have taken place over the course of the past year or two. And it really brought me to think about our ability to have compassion for one another, our ability to connect with one another. Where will we be 10, 20 years from now? We rely so heavily on technology, and we lose the ability to touch, feel, look at our fellow man, recognize the pain in another person, share in the joy of another person. Because when we're really looking at technology or social media and we rely upon the images that we see and become fascinated in it, and it really tends to drive what we perceive as reality, we miss all of those things. I think I've mentioned this in an earlier podcast that social media is generally the high reel. It's a highlight reel. It's not real life. It's not the peaks and valleys of a journey. It's really highlighting the peaks, and there's value in those valleys. There's value in those valleys because when we watch a person's journey and the beauty of it and how they navigate the peaks and the valleys and whatnot, that is the beauty that exists with humanity. No one really gets through a valley without, community. Whether we realize it or not, we really need one another and we really need that community. So it really led me to think about our ability to have compassion for one another and the importance of connecting, the importance of being present with those around you, the importance of touch, the importance of listening, the importance of, putting down the phone when you're in the presence of a loved one or a friend, or even a stranger when someone's talking to you. Just putting down the technology and really being present in the moment to really enjoy and engage what's happening at that time. That's a very, very special gift. And I think one that we miss if we're not attuned to what the value is that it holds. And so there are some things that I jotted down that I thought, would be really helpful to share with you that I came up with that I think are really important as we move forward with our relationship with social media. Just to keep in mind, I understand, social media is a big thing. We use it for work. We use it to facilitate messages and promote change and, a variety of different reasons why social media is in fact, important in today's life. But at the same time, we need to be careful about how much we allow it to take over our lives. So the first thing that I thought about is, it's important. How many times have you found yourself sitting and you get an idle moment and you're scrolling, you open up, Instagram, you open up Facebook, you're scrolling, and then you put the phone down, and then you pick it back up, and then, mindless scrolling. And so the first thing I thought about is to schedule time for social media. We have to, facilitate our lives, and we can be a lot more productive if we are scheduling time, after we get the important things done. We limit the amount of time that we spend on social media so that we're actually living in the real world and not in the virtual world as a dominant space. The next thing is to be responsible. Be responsible with what you're promoting on social media. Be responsible with the image, that you're promoting of yourself, and be responsible with your brand. Right? So we want to be responsible with our brand. We want to make sure that what we're promoting is true and authentic in our best self. Right? The third thing is to show compassion for one another. Be compassionate. If, we sometimes come across instances where someone's not really having a good time. Someone's not really having a good time with life, and they are being vulnerable on social media, and they're sharing it. I've seen where people have been attacked for, displaying their vulnerability. and people launch on their weaknesses. And I think that that is such a tragic moment when, we witness that. And, just remember to be compassionate for one another, respect where we each are in our journeys. Everyone's going to be at a different place. Some of us, may perceive the next person is not being as evolved, or maybe someone else is just, they haven't learned the lessons that you've learned yet. Everyone has to take time to get there. So be compassionate. Be positive is the fourth thing. Be positive. Save all the negativity for some other platform or not at all. Just promote positivity. If you sow seeds of positivity, guess what? That's what's going to come back to you. So be positive. The fifth thing is to be authentic. Be authentic. It's like I said, social media does highlight. It's the highlight reel of another person's life, another person's journey. No one's really promote. I think I shared this with a friend the other day when I was saying, yeah. So I mean, it's not a lot of the time. It's not, it's kind of fake news when you look at, someone's page and everything's great and they, oh my gosh, they're traveling, they're making money, they're doing, but nobody's on there talking about the time when their car got repossessed. No one's on there saying, I had this major fight, with my sister and, we didn't talk for a week, but hey, here we are, we made up and now we're out here having lunch. No one's, talking about all that stuff. So, it's the highlight reel, and I'm certainly not suggesting that all be displayed on social media because I'm going to get to that part. But what I am saying is, be authentic. Promote what you are displaying. Make sure that it's positive and it's authentically you. Don't be ashamed to be yourself. Don't be ashamed to be bigger than life if that's who you are. And number 6, use social media as a platform to create positive social change. So if you're a platform, you just take a moment and just think about what messages you're pushing out with your brand on your social media platforms. If you're not promoting positive social change, maybe it's time to rethink, what your mission is with your social media page. Maybe there's something else that you need to be doing to revise it to make certain that you are promoting positive social change. Number 7, use discretion. Like I said, everything isn't for social media. We still have to save something for ourselves. While, we want to have an element of transparency and we want to be authentic, we also want to use some discretion. We want to protect the lives of those who don't care to be a part of social media, who don't care to be on the internet, perhaps, your children, perhaps whoever it might be. Just use a bit of discretion. Don't have arguments on social media. I've seen this happen where, a couple breaks up and they're, going back. We've all seen it, with some of the celebrity breakups. It's just be discreet. Use some discretion. Don't put all of that out there. And number 8, and this perfectly piggybacks on number 7, honor your life. Honor your life. Represent your life with respect and honor and glory. Honor your platform and make certain that if you are managing a social media website or social media page, that it is respectful. We all come from different backgrounds. We have different perspectives. We have different opinions. We have different political beliefs. Some of us support, views that maybe, aren't popular, and that's okay. That's okay. We have to have a level of tolerance to be able to hear one another out because that is the only way that we grow. We only grow by listening and learning and just really understanding opposing views. Maybe those who are have an opposing view from you might learn from you if you're patient and you're able to entertain the fact that they may think something, they may have a different viewpoint than you. And so that is really what I wanted to share with you. I really hope to be able to share more with you about the experience that I had over the weekend in a future episode. So stay tuned for that. I really have some great things planned for sharing some of those experiences. But I just really, after having the experience with the soul sinking and really developing even a greater appreciation for the importance of connecting with another person and acknowledging that we are all connected and that it all matters that we have human contact. I just really thought it was important to share those tips with you.
Thank you for tuning in to Power 365 Phenomenal Woman Wednesdays. I believe that every woman gifts the universe with her own strengths and unique characteristics. Simply because she is born, the universe benefits. Every woman is growing, learning, and evolving. On this channel, only positive seeds are sown, no matter how flawed the soil. Take care and have a phenomenal Wednesday.